See how big they are? Look, you can come see these. There's opilio crabs. Cool, huh? Y'all ready?
Yep.
So we want portrait?
Yeah, I do. You want me to put this in mine? This is the extra battery. I can put it in mine.
My name is Ron Zawal, and I'll be your captain today. I've been fishing out in the Bering Sea for 46 years. I've been running boats out there for over 30 years, and I've owned 3 boats myself. This is my retirement job right here. I just retired 3 years ago. I was asked to come and see what David put together here. He said, hey, you've been out there 46 years. Get the heck out of the Bering Sea. Come and see what I put together. I want you to help do this. So I'm like, well, I'll come and see what you did. Well, look where I ended up. How we got started doing this. You know, a lot of us would take our boats down to Lower 48, down to Oregon, down to Washington, take our boats down to the shipyard, get some work done. A lot more shipyards down there, a lot cheaper down there. They only had one back then, it was in Seward, Alaska. Well, on the way back, Ketchikan was the first port of call in Alaska. We'd stop here, reprovision stuff we might have forgotten. The crew always got their commercial fishing licenses just to get it out of the way. Well, eventually, these things started showing up. We're thinking, what the heck is this? Well, that's cool. People coming up and seeing our awesome state of Alaska. Well, at one point, tied up like we are right here, the boat ties up on the other side. 80 people come off this boat. Now, it really got us wondering what the heck's going on. So we asked the captain, hey, what's all this about? And he says, you see these cruise ships? We go, yeah. People pay me, and I take them out, and they get to see Ketchikan from the water. Says, every once in a while we'll see an eagle. Boy, if we ever see a whale, you ought to hear them, and I get to do this twice a day. Got to thinking, you know what? They could see Ketchikan from the water when they're coming in on the cruise ship, right? We went about our business. Like I said, David, the owner of this, had a dream. This was his dream that he put together. I know what David paid for this boat. Cost him 3 times as much to put together for our guests here. We put a heck of a crew together for you. We got this guy, Dennis Frenzy. We call him Big D. Now, Big D, not only a crab fisherman, professional longliner. He'll explain that later, but I'll tell you what. This guy has set enough of this longline gear to go around the world twice. I know for a fact, I know the boats he's been on, the captains he's worked with, stayed up just like all of us, 30, 40, 50, and yeah, we've all stayed up 60 hours because the quicker you fill these things up, quicker you go to town and offload, quicker you get back out and do it again. And he'll give it 110% every time. Big D. All right, now, we've all had a trouble child in our life. Some of us still have. Well, this is ours. I've known this guy my whole life. I grew up in Oregon with Andy here. He's the engineer. Andy's been on some of the top producing Bering Sea crab boats in probably every ocean you can be on. And engineer. And another guy, like I said, we've stayed up for, hours and hours and hours. And I know for a fact, he'll give it 110%. I don't even go down that end of it. Because if I touch something, he's down there polishing it. And he knows when I'm down there. I got a sneak down there. But I'll tell you, I don't have to worry about anything on deck or down there because of this gentleman right here, Andy Tibbetts.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, now the heart of our operation, we got Lila, Melissa, and Anna. And Anna's probably on her way. But anyway, I call these girls the heart because anything you need, these girls are all over the place. They're in the galley, they'll be all over here. Anything you need, don't hesitate to ask. You're our guests, okay? They also live here. Anything you need to know about Ketchikan, where to go, what to do, again, don't hesitate. We got one coming up.
We like bragging about that because this boat was converted to be a tour. It is a Bering Sea king crab boat. It actually still has a permit and we still have a tank that we can go. We can fish this boat if we needed to. But we're affiliated with boats that are still active in the Bering Sea. And through that connection, we have got Bering Sea red king crab that was caught just this past season back there for purchase. It is split in half, served chilled. All you have to do is lift it up, drag it through that melted butter. So ask the girls about that. Down here, we got some chains. When the chains are up, we ask that you respect that and be on that side. That's for your safety. Chains are down, we encourage you to check out the equipment that we've got because this is way cooler than a flat screen TV. You guys are right up against this thing and this is the real deal. Now, we're headed to a very special place. And what it is, it's a net island. It's home to the Tsimshian Native Americans. In the late 1800s, they took a net island as their own. When they did the Lands Claim Act, they asked for and received sovereign water around that island. They govern a half-mile around there so that they could sustain themselves. And we worked out a deal with them that we could be over there in those waters. That allows us to do what we're going to do today. And we'll talk more about that when we get over there. Right now, I'm going to push this block out. It was entirely easier when I was 25. I'm going to encourage you guys. Got a little photo op here. Yeah, some people are lined up. Okay, here's the deal. Listen up, you Deadliest Catch fans. This is the throwing hook. This is what we gotta have to get those buoys back to the boat, because in the heavy seas, these things lift up and they just shove the buoys away. They don't use a buoy stick like Dungy and stuff. You gotta have this puppy here. I'm gonna encourage you guys, get your hip up against the rail. Give it your best Deadliest Catch pose. Do not throw it. Okay? It's just a photo op. You throw it, goes in the wheel, bad deal. All right, if I forgot anything, we'll figure it out. Other than that, get up and go around.
That looks good. There you go.
heard that. It was close to the Vance's boat here. Came surfing down 50-foot waves and miraculously got everybody aboard his boat alive. It took another 2 days for that storm to subside enough for him to take him into Dutch Harbor. Now, they didn't have a boat anymore, so Vance and his crew were going to fly home, and the Coast Guard called Vance and said, "Hey, Vance, we found your boat out there floating. It's on its side, but it's floating. Here's the position where it's at." So Vance got his crew back together, got some pumps, because he knew once he got on this boat, he was going to have to pump water out. Got a buddy of his, took him out where the Coast Guard said the boat was, found this boat, got back on it, pumped the water, got it righted itself, got it back into Dutch Harbor. My 46 years of fishing in the Bering Sea, this is the first boat, the only boat I've ever heard of that's been abandoned, and the captain and crew get back on it and take it into port. First thing Vance did when he got there, went to the lumber store, bought himself a sheet of plywood, can of spray paint, and spray painted "For Sale. I'm out of here." That's when David and his partner bought the Aleutian Valley. They fixed it back up, go fishing, hired a guy. Now, this guy was taught like I was taught. Like I said earlier, the more crab you catch, the more, faster you get in, faster you get back out. Stayed up 30, 40, 50, 60 hours. This is the kind of captain that they hired to run this boat. Exactly what he did. Went out there, kept his crew up 40 hours a whack, filled this thing up, headed it for Dutch Harbor. Told his crew, "Guys, you worked hard for me, man. I know that kept you up for a lot of hours. Why don't you take a nap? I got this." He's headed into Dutch Harbor, full steam like we're doing now, sitting right up there in that wheelhouse chair. He woke up when he hit a 500-foot cliff. We stay up just as long as the crew, right? Now, he hit this cliff, flat bottom boat. This boat's got 8 fuel tanks, 2, 4, 6, 8. The waves are picking him up, slamming on these rocks, puncturing holes in fuel tank, fish hole, fuel tank. Crew gets in their survival suit, but they got rocks. 500-foot cliff, waves coming in, they can't jump overboard. First thing the captain did when he did that, went down the engine room, shut all the engines off, because these things run on diesel. He knew that. They don't run off this stuff here, right? Like I said, he's puncturing holes in fuel tanks and everything. Then he checks the filters. Out of the 8 fuel tanks, the first 5 he checked had pure salt water. 6-1 had diesel in it, so he got everything fired back up. Now he had to get off the rocks. Went back up in the wheelhouse. Now when a wave came in, he hit reverse. Now, it's 1,500 feet deep, because these are, it's probably 300 feet here. These things are like this, cliffs. He didn't know if he was going to sink, when he got back up off the rocks, but he had to. He backed this thing off the rocks, got it back into Dutch Harbor. Luckily, they had a spot. They hauled him up out of the water to see the damage. Then he called the owner, David, told David what happened. First thing David said, "Is everybody all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, but it's bad." So David called the insurance company. Back then, the biggest insurance company that insured all of us crab boats was called Lloyd's of London. The guy flew to Dutch Harbor. Him and David met up. They walked around this boat. That guy said, "Hey, I've been at this 30 years. I've been all over the world inspecting damaged boats. This has got to be one of the worst ones I've ever seen, because we're going to have to rip the whole bottom out from under that thing and put a new one in. You're going to have to find a new insurance company." That's twice this boat shouldn't be here, but it's still here, right? Well, there's 3 times. Season 2, Deadliest Catch. This boat got hit by a massive rogue wave. It's playing out there on screen, on a feed. That wave was higher than the top of that boom right there. It hit this boat, rolled it on its side, but it came back. Reason? We're all about ballast. We want more weight underneath us than above us. Every tank was full of crab on this boat. It had all that weight. Yeah, it got tipped over. It lost water, but everything was so stuffed with crab, it still had that weight, and it came back and righted itself, and they got back into Dutch. Season 2, Deadliest Catch, Aleutian Valley. You want to look it up. 3 times it's still here, so what do you think? Lucky boat or unlucky boat? I think it's the luckiest boat out in the ocean, because I know for a fact it ain't going back to the Bering Sea. This boat's here for you folks. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn you over to Big D, and he's going to explain what he's doing here. Thank you.
You guys are on a crab boat, that's nice. So we're not going to start out crabbing this morning. First thing we're going to do is try to catch some fish. And the way we're going to do it is with a log line. And that's just what it sounds like. It's just a log line with a hook every so often. This one has a hook every 32 inches. This boat in particular, and a lot of crab boats, when crab season was over, they would go fishing for blackcod and halibut, and they would use log line. When I first came to Alaska in 1982, I came here specifically to fish log line. And when I did, the only hooks available to us were just regular old J hooks. I'm sure everybody who's ever gone fishing has used one, right? And it was good. We would go out, say we were fishing for halibut. We'd fish 4 or 5 days, go in, sell our load, come back out, do it again, until the quota in that area was full, and then we'd move to another area. And we could pretty much keep busy all summer long. Well, the very next year, 1983, guy showed up, and he had cases of these. Anybody know what that one is? Roger. It's a circle hook. We didn't know what it was in 1983, but we tried it. And the way we tried it was on our halibut gear. So our halibut gear would have be full of line. We have 75 hooks spaced at 6 feet. We would set 75 J hooks, 75 circle hooks, J hooks, circle hooks, all tied together. Then we had about 20 tubs. Went back and pulled it. The first and only time we did that, our first tub had J hooks, and we had 15 fish. And they were nice fish, 40, 50-pound fish. We knew we were in them. The very next tub had circle hooks on it, and out of 75 hooks, it had 55 fish. And the smallest ones were 50 pounds. And the biggest ones were bigger than anything we'd ever seen. I mean, we had fish on there that were 250 pounds. And it stayed that way. So we never used J hooks again, but neither did anybody else. And what we figured, you take this hook, and a 250-pound fish bites on it, it's just bent wire. And it protrudes. You pull on it, it just straightens right out. You never see that fish. You take this hook and that same fish swallows this one down, I can run this through my hand all day long without looking, and it's not even going to catch my glove. The way it's designed, it slides right back up the way it went down, and they're thrashing, and every single one of them's going to be hooked in the mouth. And, well, it changed the industry. For example, in 1983, there was 260 boats fishing long line in Alaska. By 1987, there was over 2,000. Now, they're fishing the same quota in the same area. Excuse me. So, if you don't change the way you fish, you're going to be fishing for 10% of your money. Well, the guys I worked with changed the way we fished. We started setting 20 miles of gear a day, and it became dangerous. I mean, it takes 22 hours of fishing as fast as you can to get 20 miles of gear in the water and back. I mean, you're setting it right here, it's like a sewing machine going out. And, you know, you're just hauling it, and you're behind from the time the season opens until you put the gear away. You never get caught up. He's just staring at me with eyes the size of a softball. And all of a sudden, I'll start catching fish. I'll get 4 or 5 fish. He disappears. His buddy comes up, and it's over again. He'll do that for the whole string. It got tough. So the guys fishing blackcod mostly switched to traps like we use for crab. They just modified them to catch fish. But the guys fishing halibut, they have to catch their fish hook and line. So they're still fighting with whales every day. So instead of setting, 2-mile strings, they're setting quarter-mile strings and setting them 15 miles apart. But anyway, we set one of these last night, and we are going to go haul it back, and then we are going to set this one. And what I'd like you guys to do if you will, is just keep your seat, and when we get this one in the water, we will show you what we caught, if we catch anything, and share with you. So, you guys ready to go fishing? Yeah. All right, so are we. Don't scare the fish, I like that. How deep are we here, Cap?
245 feet.
That's even over your head, Big D.
Yeah, I'm not jumping in. All right. First thing we do, we get these buoys on, and then we determine which way that line's going. And then we have the captain orient to it.
Bushy sunset.
Okay, it's going way ahead of us there, Cap. Maybe just a little bit to the port and forward, we should be good. Normally, the guy standing here would have control of the boat because I can see the line and I can drive on it. He can't see it from up there. There you go. But I have a headset, so I can just tell him what it's doing. And I just check the tension. We tried it with hand signals for a little while, but it didn't work. I only know one, and it's not very helpful. Yeah, it's coming up just perfect, Cap. We got a bit of a tangle coming.
All right.
And it's got a reason to be tangled here.
That's good.
Hey, couple it. Andy,
Sure.
you want to come bring her in a little? Get this coral off of here. Oh yeah. That'll be.
Gotten patient with my skill level.
I see the problem. We had a big one causing the issue. Let's see if we can get this one.
Got him?
Ah, I think so. Yeah, I got him. Big old steelhead.
Good job. All right.
Okay, well, sometimes it comes back tangled. Like I say, we'll talk about these fish in a little bit. Right now, we're going to set this. And as I said earlier, this is the most dangerous part. What I need to do, get this anchor up here, and I'm going to hook it to the top of the tub. because I want that to go out first. Then I'm going to take the bottom of the tub and I'm going to tie it to this buoy line. Now when Captain Ron gets to where he wants to fish, he's going to say the word and he's going to throw that anchor over, and I'm just going to spin this tub. And hopefully everything will go out straight. And come back straight. We shall see. How you looking, Andy? Are you ready?
In theory, yeah.
In theory. All right. We are ready. This is only going to take about 10 seconds, and it makes a pretty good video. I hate to say it, but it makes a really good video if stuff goes wrong. It'll probably go viral.
I'm gonna just get turned here because these tides are so big.
Yeah, Raj. I'm just standing my ground. Yeah, if we were doing this commercially, I'd have a table here and there'd be 3 tubs. 2 would be tied together and there'd be a guy putting one up every time I set one and tying it on. And when this one got empty, I'd just reach and grab the one behind me. And then when we haul it in, they just untie it when the tub comes in. And if you end up getting one like that, that's your tough luck because you got to get it straight quick.
Tough luck.
Yeah.
Guys ready? Go ahead and let her go.
It's
All right,
good.
like I said, 10, 12 seconds, this will be empty. Okay, Andy.
All right.
It went out well.
All right, you clear, Cap?
All right, let's talk about this guy first. So I can get him back in the tank. Right here we have Hydrologus colii. That's Latin for water hare. And if you look at his face, it's got kind of that little bunny look. I guess that's how he got his name. He's commonly known as the long-tailed ratfish. And he's definitely a bottom feeder. You can tell by the big eyes. This is a totally carnivorous fish. It has no bones at all. It's an offshoot of the shark family a couple million years ago. Not related to the shark, but that's where it starts from. And you saw Andy talk about not getting bit. He's got a bone-like feature in his mouth, and he uses it to crush shells. And he can crush your finger just as easy, so you got to be careful. And if you look at the top, he's got a spine. That dorsal fin, he's got quite a bit of control over it, and it is highly toxic. I got stuck by one a couple of years ago, and it took like 6 weeks for the swelling to go down, and it was painful. So we got a lot of respect for this guy. They really have no commercial value, but the interesting thing about this fish is that nobody's ever found one that's diseased. It seems to be immune to all diseases that affect fish. So they're studying the heck out of it, trying to isolate that genome and see if we can apply it to ourselves.
All right. What I'm holding here, quillback rockfish, one of several species of rockfish caught right here in southeast Alaska. He gets his name from those quills. There is a toxin in those things. It's not enough to kill you, but it will enhance your fishing experience, I promise. Now, you get your white fish tacos, rockfish, this is what you're getting. White flaky meat, it's incredible. I like this more than any other. Get those pictures.
All right. Now, what we have here is fish and chips. This is a Pacific cod, gray cod, peacock, whatever you want to call it. But it is the most economically strong fish in the state of Alaska. They don't catch the most of them, but the combination of how many they do catch and the price, makes it pretty darn valuable. And we're going to talk quite a bit about codfish today. But you look at this and just put this in your head someplace. This is probably what, 6 or 7 pound fish, Andy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is a 6 or 7 pound codfish. Just kind of remember that. I mean, this is what they will make. And you get codfish and chips, it's this guy. And it is my favorite. I love them. I mean, they are tender, they're tasty, it's just perfect. This guy is in actually really, really good shape. I'm gonna let it go.
Yay, yeah.
Oh. Were you already attached to him? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, we do. We want to have as little impact as we can, but some of the stuff we can't release. And those rockfish, when they come up from the bottom, it's tough on them. Okay. Right now, I'm going to encourage any kind of mobility issues, children, come up to the rail. Do keep your feet on the deck at all times. Kids, be within an arm's reach of your parents. We're hoping to get some wildlife viewing here. You'll see pretty good on the top, everybody.
Oh, it's a bunch of them.
That is an eagle. That was actually, that's an adult North American bald eagle. I know he's an adult because of the white head and tail. It takes 4 years to achieve that.
Plenty of room up behind the wheel out there too.
You have your cameras or your phones on slow-mo. Take a short little video of what's going on here. You can steal screenshots out of it. They're all good. They come from all over. Right in here. Thank you. Years for the summer. The aerobatics of a bird that big, it just cracks me up that they're that agile. That big wingspan. Once they achieve that adult plumage, the only difference between the male and the female is the female does get a little bit larger. Now I saw there somewhere right up the top of this is a juvenile. Yeah, straight up, you guys. Keep your mouth closed, but straight up. That's a juvenile. He doesn't look any smaller than the rest of. There's another juvenile coming right over. They don't look any smaller, and the reason for that is they have twice the feathers the adult has, because they are in fact molting all the time. Those extra feathers help it with flight. Parents bring them here, teach them how to fish. It's traditionally taught. Another good snag for a juvenile. Because they're learning their way right now. Yeah!
Now that is good. When you see a juvenile catching in the air, he's got a good shot of making it.
Yeah, you got that kind of agility coming into the winter.
Nice.
That was on me. I threw it a little late.
Pretty sure there was a star on it last.
That one that missed, I think, came from Great Bay.
read up on these guys, you'll find out that the eagle, bald eagle, is notorious for stealing stuff.
Whoa.
They will actually wait for somebody else to be successful and then they'll go steal it from them. Anybody get that on slow-mo?
Shoot.
That, in fact, is the exact same thing they do during the mating year, too. Mock talents like that. They do mate for life. Longest recorded one I'm aware of living was 32 years, but it was in captivity. In the wild, you might make it 23, 25 years. Largest part of their diet is fish. They'll scavenge the beaches looking for anything though. They might find a dead seal carcass. They might find a deer carcass in the woods. They'll do whatever it takes to survive.
Oh, good job.
Tell you the adult female can get upwards of 14 pounds. They can lift just a smidge over half their body weight, deadlift it out of the water. With a good headwind, they can lift considerably more.
Yeah, they don't even like each other. Cheers.
Oh, I dropped it.
Dropped it.
Oh.
And the juvenile got it.
Yeah, the juvenile got it.
Oh, piece of gut. Oh!
Not for long.
Yeah, oh, they'll take it from them.
Louie,
Gotta learn somehow.
he's a teenager.
Oh.
Oh, go, go, slap, go. Go, buddy, go. Go, buddy.
That one made my day.
They can swim. They don't have webbed feet. They're not going to swim unless they have to, but what will happen is they'll get into something they can't lift out of the water, and they'll use the wings to paddle. Very keen eyesight. They tell us if we had their eyesight, we could.
See, we get a few still lifes up there sitting in those trees. Pretty amazing. Does anybody know what they call a large collection of eagles?
I do.
You know, Kim. It's called a convocation. So you never know when that might come to conversation.
And why?
Yeah, and why?
And why is a large group of crows a murder? A large group of ravens has a name, I can't remember it. Bullet?
That were an eagle show, folks.
Anybody not get a picture of the eagle?
I don't hear anybody messing up.
You didn't. Photography is not your calling. That is cool, you guys.
And I not only couldn't get a sentence out, I couldn't process a thought. I just stood here. I don't know, it might even have been Andy was on the boat. He just kind of come over and tapped me on the shoulder and took over and I went over and tied a knot about the line or something. I figured, okay, it's going to get better. Once again. It didn't, but I'm not a quitter. I stayed the whole season. And I went home in September and I went crabbing. Well, COVID hit in the spring, so there's no cruise ships, so there's no tour. So I went fishing. Came back, went crabbing. COVID's still there, I went fishing again. And I'm getting back in the groove and I'm liking it. Well, 2022, I'm out on a crab boat. In January, I get a call from David, and he's excited. We're going to start the tour. And I'm like, oh, goody. And I really didn't, I hadn't really thought about it much. My wife's the one who told me to get up here because just do it. So I figured, okay, no surprises. I've seen it for a year. I know what I'm looking at. I came up here, and I walked out here and looked at you guys, and there was no change. I mean, if anything, it was worse because now I'm starting to dislike you. And I'm trying as hard as I can, and I can't get it. So one day I'm out here and I'm just walking around passing out crabs and smiling, and I get a tug on my leg. I didn't think much about it. I just passed out crabs and smiling. And another tug. I look down. It's this little 6-year-old girl. Her name was Kennedy. So as nice as I could, I turned her. I said, "What do you want?" She looks up. She goes, "Big D, can I have a hug?" Yeah, right. So I bent down there, and she gives me a hug, and she ran off to do whatever she's doing. And I passed out crabs and kept smiling. Well, it turns out that what she was doing was collecting hugs from me. She came by like 4 more times. And it wasn't horrible. So we got to town, everybody got off the boat. I went right up and told David about it, and he just sat there and smiled. He did not say one word. I said, whatever, and I left. I went home, went to bed, came back down, and that next morning, to this day, I do not know what she had in those hugs, but it completely changed the way that I look at this job. I mean, I think that's the last day that I actually came to work on this boat. I really do. I mean, it was that profound. And I know it changed the way that I look at you guys. I come out there and I'm standing here when you guys are getting on the boat. I love watching you guys come down the ramp. You have no idea what you're in for. Which means I have no idea what I'm in for. Because I meet a lot of people and I enjoy every minute of it. And I just want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your vacation to come out and spend a couple hours with us. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
Are you guys ready to go crabbing? There we go. Guys, we're pulling up on the buoy setup here. I'm going to paint you a little picture. It's 1982. I'm 22 years old.
What's a big picture?
Yeah, it's a large canvas, okay? And I'm standing at the rail in the Bering Sea. It's blowing 40 miles an hour, 20-foot seas. My job is to stand here and coil this line. And this line's been out in that water for 20, 30 hours fishing. And there's a guy up there in the Bering Sea called the lion's mane jellyfish. And the lion's mane jellyfish has these huge red long stingers. And they're all over this line. And that wind's blowing it up into your face, on your eyelids, corner of your mouth. It burns so bad. There isn't one trip that's halfway through it I didn't think to myself, we get anywhere near land, I want to slow it down just a smidge. Yeah. we get anywhere near land, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get that survival suit. This is stupid. You get into town, you're delivering. You might lean up against something to get a cat nap, 20 minutes or something. Guys will pull their money together. Somebody will run and get some pizza. Captain, he comes down from the cannery. He's got checks from the trip before. He starts handing out $9,000 checks to a bunch of 22-year-old kids. You look at that check, you look at the book, and you think to yourself, oh, I wasn't that bad. That's how they get you. The lure of easy money.
Oh, yeah.
You should have told us about the IRS. Folks, this is a cone pot or a dome pot. And the reason it got into the industry is simply this. This boat would hold 160 of those big square cages. Maybe my 72-foot boat only would hold 35 of those. Somebody figured this out. He created a pucker string on the bottom. You pull that one tight, you're fishing. You undo it, it relaxes. Now you can start stacking them like cereal bowls. Now I can take 160 and I'm competing with this guy. Now the way it works, we got this bait jar, it's perforated. Squid and herring, most popular bait we use. Fish is 360 degrees. Tide's going back and forth. Crab pick up on that scent. Oh boy, here they come. All right, yeah, just like that. They're gonna go up the side of that thing and down in there. And then they're caught in a trap and they can't walk out.
All right, that's what we have in this crab. These are box king crab, POX. They are a king crab. They're really closely related to them, and they taste just like king crab. And they actually have more meat per pound than any crab that I've ever heard of. It's like 50%. The problem is they're hard to catch, and therefore nobody really targets them. So therefore there's not really a market. But that doesn't change the fact these guys are probably the coolest crabs we catch, and you can be the judge of that, because when you hold them, you're going to put a couple fingers right there on their belly pan, thumb on their back, and just hold them like a sandwich.
All right, what I got here, snow crab. You're going to hold this guy right on the ends of his legs, okay? Don't hold him like Big D's, he'll come down and find you. Now, we're going to get you up out of the seats. Not everybody's going to fit out here. We'll come into the seats. Girls are going to come up above. We've got critters, we've got crab. Please hold something and get your picture taken. All right, I'm going to turn my mic off. We're going to get...
Say crab, not cheese.
Yeah, I know you're trying to grab a hold.
Can I reach my hand in here real quick?
We can't pick out of that.
No, I.
No, sir. No, sir. Poor guy looks dead.
He's probably.
There's Andy. Andy can take a picture with.
Photos be sure.
Oh yeah.
You guys ready?
We are.
Okay, guys, if you're ready, go ahead and let her go.
Ready?
All right,
Go on over.
bud.
All right. Here comes the money shot.
Have your cameras ready. Alright, enough of the shenanigans. Anybody hold something they've never held before in their life and got their picture? How cool is this? Alright, we get these guys out here. parade them around, share some fun facts.
So girls will be coming up top with these.
All right, what we got here is golden Alaska king crab. One of 3 different species that we actually target up here. We have red king crab, we have blue king crab, and we have these guys, golden Alaska king crab. And only 2 things differ when we target these animals. One of them is the type of bottom. The other is the depth of water. They're very habitat specific. You go looking for red king crab, you're looking for a muddy, sandy, tacky bottom. You're gonna start out in about 42 fathoms, 6 feet to a fathom. Blue king crab, less salinity, gravelly bottom. There are some islands up in the Bering Sea that host those conditions. These guys, we go upwards of 2,000 feet looking for them. They're down there on these steep seamounts. We're trying to get our gear to hit just right at a particular depth that we think they're working. Slowest fishing guy there is. You have to be patient to catch these. Now, once you get them back to the boat, they do have to be a male for us to commercially retain them. I'm going to tell by the abdominal flap. The fact that that comes to a point, that's telling me this is a male. Female, very distinct. What it looks like a fan. She's able to expand that. The reason for it, she has a clutch of eggs underneath there she's protected. She'll have upwards of 250,000 eggs. Isn't that insane? 250,000 eggs on one crab. So why isn't the ocean just riddled with these things, okay? Because when they hatch out, they don't even resemble a crab. They are microscopic in everything down there seeing them. So they take the biomass of the female very serious. We get one on board as fishermen, we get them off as soon as we can. That's our future. Now you get them back to the boat, the male, you see those guys dump that pot on the table, the men run over there. They're throwing crab down in the tank, they're throwing crab overboard. Years of experience, they got an eye for the obvious. But you always have a few you're not sure of. And that's when you get this measuring stick. Because you don't want to get too cocky and start throwing them over thinking they're short. Anywhere that can touch, straight across that carapace, if it hangs up, that's a legal crab. When he fits in there, he's worth over $250. So you don't want to be throwing your paycheck over. You don't want to be throwing shorts in the tank because they'll give you a fine for that. One of the cool things about this animal I love telling you, inside that shell that you cannot see, that animal is lined with a membrane. It's a red membrane. That is the brand new crab inside growing. It's just the exoskeleton. Once a year, they're going to come together in a school the size of this boat. And they're going to atrophy all the meat out of themselves. They'll detach from that skeleton and they'll back out of that. They molt. They inflate themselves with water. They're just really vulnerable right then. That's why they stay together in that pile. And then after 6-8 weeks, they start to calcify and they'll break off and go do their thing again. They have the ability, if a predator takes one of those limbs, he shoots it off. If I rip it off, he'll bleed to death. If he shoots it off, it goes through that molt cycle 3-4 times. He regenerates the limb. You don't even know he lost it. Is that not nuts what's going on underneath this boat? Unbelievable. And there is tons more. Do you need to know more? Google it, I did. But we got to keep moving. We want to show you everything we can. Who's your?
That was actually an unbelievable shot.
I split them, but I ended up with both of them. Darn it. Not that good.
Yeah, well, okay, I take that back. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Splitting the buoys was good. But we had some replica crab made. We staged them in the pot, so when this thing comes up, we can explain to you what we're looking for as fishermen. You're also going to see some colorful tags. I ask that you look past those for now. Concentrate on me and Big D, what we're telling you about that. And then we will, in fact, have the captain come down, and he will tell us about those colorful tags and what's going on. I'm just gonna let Go ahead. See if this works. No. I was hoping it would work and I wouldn't have to.
That's not me, I should have pulled it on.
No.
I've been doing that. It's working.
New line. That last shot is coiling backward. We got brand new line on here, guys. It's not trained yet.
What's up?
Yeah. Okay, I told you we put some replicas in here. Folks, when we're out there fishing, we'll pull what we refer to as blanks. That pot doesn't have anything in it but the bait in it. What we're looking for is this. This comes up after 10, 12 hours. Everybody on that boat is ecstatic. I've got 2 riders going in my tunnel. Big D's got 2 riders. They refer to them as riders because they're not even inside yet. They want in there so bad they held on. Half dozen grab in there, that's good fishing. We're gonna check a couple more. We think the best sign's to the west. We'll take the rest of our gear and set it to the west, anticipating that we'll get it in front of those crab. We could have a 60, 70 average.
All right, first thing I'm gonna do is drop that trap down on those 2 hooks on the bottom of the launcher. That's gonna secure the bottom of that trap, but I still have to secure the top. I'm gonna use what they call dogs. And that's just 2 metal hooks that come in hydraulically, centers that trap, and holds it tight to the frame. Now I can move that around, and I have to. I'm gonna pick it up flat. Once I get it up here, a couple guys are gonna wheel a table right underneath here. 2 other guys are gonna open these up. They're gonna flip that door up on top. Now the crabs are ready to come out. And all I have to do is get them out. So I'm gonna dump them out. And once I get up here, I'm just gonna shake this handle until all those crabs fall out on that table. Then I go right back down and they change the baits, close the door, this pot's ready to go back in the water. It does not take very long. What takes long is me standing over here. I might be here 16, 20 hours and I get cold, I'm getting wet, get a little frustrated, questioning some of my decisions, and I forget one little thing. And you gotta remember, we're not in the net bay, we're in the Bering Sea. This boat's rocking, we got waves coming over there, there's ice where you're sitting. I forget to put the dogs on one time. This pot's gone. It's gonna hit that wall over there someplace. And there is gonna be some people scrambling because working all the way, chop, bait, boot. I just go there.
You did.
Okay, I'm back. But anyway, it happens. Everybody's seen it. What you need to do is pay attention, be vocal. People need to know what you're doing. If I grab a lever, I tell them what I'm doing. I miss.
We caught one earlier. See the mouth on that thing? That was probably average size. They get a lot bigger than that. They used to come from the Gulf of Alaska, come into the Bering Sea, hit that cold water, turn around and go back to the Gulf. The Gulf of Alaska water is a lot warmer. Bering Sea's warmed up 2 degrees. That's all it took. Now the codfish are coming into the Bering Sea by the billions. They're not turning around and going back. They're to me, they're the most carnivorous fish in the ocean. When all the crab species, when their eggs hatch and the little ones are crawling around, codfish are sucking them up like a vacuum cleaner. Good example, Deadliest Catch. For those of you who've been watching it, they're fishing codfish on the Deadliest Catch show. Because that's what only thing they're fishing. You know, in 1923, 24, There was no snow crab season because they didn't have enough to count for a season to fish. Last year, what they did, they gave the fishermen 4 million pounds. When I started fishing in the late 70s and the 80s, we had a 440 million pound quota. In the 90s, 300 million. Now last year they had a 4 million, so we're hurting in the Bering Sea. You know, people always ask me what do I think, is it gonna ever change? My lifetime, hard to say, you know, I hope it does, because Bering Sea's in trouble. You know, we'll see what happens. Not right now, what they're fishing is these golden king crab. That's the crab they're catching on the show. Andy, the engineer, keeps this water at about 42, 43 degrees. These things live, you know, they fish from 900 to 2,000 feet on the bottom. That's where these things live. It's still cold down there, the water. Codfish, they haven't gone down that far yet because of the temperature. If it ever warms up down there, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen to this species right here. All right, guys, go ahead and lower it. Let's talk about, this is our memorial pot. This is a donation thing. We got tags up forward and tags in there. It's for the families of lost fishermen, and we lose them every year. For those of you who've been watching the show, we just lost a guy. We lost 2 guys in the last couple months. One guy on the show, Deadliest Catch. They haven't showed it yet on TV, but it's coming. You know, we called fishermen from all over and said, hey guys, send us your buoy tags, will you? We told them what it was for. And they sent them to us. We started the first one over here at the village. You know, they allowed us in their water, so we started. They lose a lot of fishermen. They got salmon fishermen, herring fishermen. They dive for sea cucumbers and sea urchins. They've lost a lot of fishermen throughout the years. They never had a memorial to remember the fishermen by until we started doing this and we got donations from our guests, you folks. What it was enough money to put a memorial out on the point for them with all the names of the lost fishermen. Now their family have somewhere to go remember them by. We've started them all over the place, East Coast, West Coast. They have a deal, Fishermen's Wives it's called. We send them the money that we get from donations so they can give them to the families of lost fishermen all over the, you know, all over the coast and the fishing villages, you know, because they need to pay their bills and put food on their table. And thanks to you folks and donations, that happens. I'm going to read a few that we got from yesterday. Jake, to the best fisherman I've known, I wish you were here. Wish you were still fishing with us. You're too young to die. Love, Granny. For my father, Jerry. Now, you know, took the kids out of the village, from the village, took them out on our tour. We came up to this, and they put their tags on here. This is what somebody wrote here. Age 6. My dream is to be a doctor. That's pretty cool. You know, the one young man that said they wish they were here with us, they are. Right on top of this pot right now. And they'll ride with us every day. This is our memorial pot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, only Sigourney Weaver could really appreciate it. Now, we have this barrel, the long line. We just have the one. And you can get upwards of 300-400 eels in the thing. And we're hoping to have enough that each of you will be able to hold 2. You're going to hold them right behind the head. And pay attention because it's important. They do have a mouth structure. The teeth are horrendous. Anybody see Tremors with Kevin Bacon? Yeah, the sandworm. That's where they got that. Okay? Hollywood stole that from Mother Nature. Terminator, the mouth, all that busy business, that was a king crab. That's what the mouth was. So anyway, yeah, pay attention so you don't get bit. And just don't agitate them. You know what agitates them? been my experience holding them. Luck to you. All right, let's get them up here, see how many. We don't want anybody going home disappointed. Folks, you Google Oregon State Highway slime eel. You'll come across an article where a truck transporting these things to the airport live got in a wreck on the highway in Oregon, dumping 4,700 pounds of slime eels. It literally made the surface undrivable.
Alright.
It looks good, D.
Well, it looks like a barrel. So far it looks harmless.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Just judging from the slime coming out of it, I think we did good.
That shouldn't bother him much. I wouldn't think.
All right. We'll start right with you.
Why are you wearing a raincoat, Big D?
It looked like it's gonna rain. I don't like these. Oh. And that's got reason. Let's see if we can roll it around, maybe get them calmed down. Here they go.
Oh, jeez, oh, wait. Yeah, that's not a slime eel. But everything I told you about the hagfish is true. There is a fishery and they do use these barrels. That is giant Pacific octopus, and the reason he's in that barrel, we put him in the barrel, all right? The reason being, listen, we caught him out there. We catch him almost every day, usually in the morning. I'm surprised we didn't get one with the box crab, because they're nocturnal and they go inside that thing and they eat our show. If you're gonna eat our show, you're gonna be part of our show. We'll put you in the aquarium, bring you over here, and kind of a timeout. What do you think about it? We never hold on to it for more than 2-3 days, folks. Do not worry about them being stressed out. They are, in fact, probably the most incredible animal on this planet as far as I'm concerned. Some of the things I've learned over time, this animal has 9 different neuron systems, 9 brains, okay? 1 for each leg, 1 for the head and mantle area. The suction cups, they are actually transmitters. They put a new surface on every 2 minutes.
Yeah, keep talking.
Did everybody get a picture? We'll give a Big D the benefit of the doubt.
Can you hold them up?
There.
All right. We'll go ahead and put him in. Like I say, we do. We don't want to stress him out and stuff. That color you're seeing right now is pretty much neutral. If he was really threatened, he would actually change the texture of his skin.
Let's get him a big old buddy.
Let's get a couple. What?
Well, he gets bored in there. He needs some sleepover pals.
Yeah, it's just a sleepover. Prawns are never thrilled about the sleepover, but if you come back tomorrow, those will be gone.
Yeah, I don't know how the prawns get out. I haven't figured that one out yet.
I think they must molt and go out through the holes because their shells are in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay. We have the hardest working girls in the industry, I promise you that. You don't work on a boat like this and not work harder than anybody else. They've been back there putting together a snack for us to get to town. What do you got, Anna?
Oh, man.
Goldfish crackers.
Well, I expected it to go over a little better than that.
This isn't going well. Okay, if that's not enough, there's still that Bering Sea king crab back there, split in half, ready to drag through the butter. Maybe you were inspired by the tags. We're going to give you a chance to get up and mill around for a few minutes. You can check on the tags forward and back. Go lead through that book at the very least. It'll edify your trip. Tons of photos in there. Maybe you didn't get all the photos you wanted. Big D's going to go inside. He's going to get some dry clothes and drive us into town. But we are not done with him. He will be back out. Folks, Dennis Frenzy.
Thank you.
I'm going to go check the engine room, and then I'll come out and tell you how I ended up on here.
We passed an hour boat.
Well, I felt it last night when we were in the comedy club. It was actually set in the middle. We're staying in the middle of the ship, so like I'm sure if we stay in the front, it was just rocking.
Take your bathroom at night. You're sitting there like,
Well, it must have been because both of the towels were on the floor. They were hanging up. Oh, y'all kidding?
one do you want to order? I'll pick it up for you.
Yeah, but that's the mineral collection you have at home.
Rose?
How about
You like that one?
special rocks? Do any of the rocks feel special to
You want to put that one back? Okay. And which blue one? This one?
No.
Jasper? Green? Agate? Oh, how about this one? Green? Which one? Oh, okay. Just take one. Pick one you like. There you go. You like that one?
Now we at the hot. He told me.
The safety going through the bars on through the boat. Yeah.
This one's very symmetric.
Let's go up.